Welcome to the Gallery of the Gods. Here you will meet the deities who in ancient belief shaped the destinies of men and determined the fate of Troy. These 12 gods and goddesses have influenced civilization throughout the ages and still hold sway over the human imagination today. Now, here are their tales. Ruthless and murderous, the god of war, Ares, with his passion for destruction, embodies in his legend the worst of humanity's traits. It is said that as he and his consorts, grief, strife, panic and terror, walk the earth in search of devastation and brutality, that a chorus of groans echoes to the heavens. During the Trojan War, he used his power to aid the Trojan warrior Hector. But Ares himself was no hero. Rather, a coward who is described as fleeing the battlefield when wounded, his cries heard even on Mount Olympus. Today, centuries after the fall of Troy, Ares still casts his shadow across the world. His appetite for chaos and pain echoed throughout the ages. On Mount Olympus, where all other gods are beautiful, only Hephaestus, god of fire, is described as ugly. Legend has it that during a quarrel, Zeus hurled him down to earth, crippling him forever. But what he lacks in appearance, he makes up for in his extraordinary powers, and despite his deformity, or perhaps because of it, he crafted objects of exquisite beauty. From his workshop deep within the earth, this master of fire and forge crafted the palaces, tools, and armor of the gods and goddesses, such as Zeus's thunderbolt and Athena's armor. In the Trojan War, he fashioned, among other things, new armor for Achilles. And yet, his true value proved not in war, but in peace, as he was also the patron god of artists and craftsmen. The benevolent Hephaestus has bestowed gifts of great beauty and skill on humanity, his gentle character visible in the details of man's great artistic designs and achievements. The only god who is said to have a mortal parent was Dionysus, the god of wine and the grape. His magical gift distilled from the vines was the bringer of both ecstasy and madness. His intoxicating creation can kindle revelry in its drinkers and also ignite drunken chaos. In ancient times, his worshippers would gather in the forest and dance in his honor, drinking until they reached a primal frenzy. The warriors of Troy sought relief from the fury in his potent brew. Indeed, this is true for war throughout the ages. But Dionysus was also known as the god of the theater, and some of the world's greatest ancient poetry was written for him, and all those who participated, from the writer to the actors and singers, were thought to be his servants. So next time you have a glass of wine, raise your cup to Dionysus, but never forget that it is a fine line between blessing and ruin when it comes to the power of the vine.
Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. Irresistible Aphrodite seduced god and mortal alike with her hypnotic beauty. Some claim that she was born of Zeus, others that she rose from the foam of the sea, fully formed and devastatingly attractive. So breathtaking was her loveliness, she was envied by all the other goddesses on Mount Olympus. It was said that Paris judged her to be the most beautiful of all the goddesses and awarded her with the golden apple. To reward Paris, Aphrodite granted him Helen, the most beautiful woman on earth. But his deed invoked the wrath of Menelaus, king of Sparta, thus setting the wheels of the Trojan War in motion. Aphrodite sided with the Trojans, and after their defeat, used her powers to protect her mortal son Aeneas, a Trojan warrior. It was said that with her enchanting laughter and unrivaled beauty, she could seduce any god or man she so desired. And in a love triangle, she married Hephaestus, Mount Olympus's homeliest of gods, while carrying on an affair with Ares, the most brutal. Aphrodite, sensual, mysterious, this original femme fatale has served as a familiar archetype throughout the ages.
Apollo, god of prophecy, music, and healing, offers his wisdom as a link between gods and man alike. With an intellect as far-reaching as the arrows shot from his silver bow, he is said to be the first god to teach mortals the healing arts, including that of music. It was thought that he helped humans to achieve their full potential with his gifts of enlightenment. During the Trojan War, it was believed that Apollo sided with and aided the Trojan warrior Hector on the field of battle. As the conflict raged, he was said to have shot fiery arrows down at the Greeks from his chariot in the sky. Centuries later, when man journeyed to the heavens, they fittingly named their mission to the moon Apollo, after the god who inspired mankind to reach for the stars.
Artemis, goddess of the hunt. As wild as nature itself, Artemis, the chaste goddess of the hunt and protector of the young, serenely ruled over the earth's untamed places. Twin sister of Apollo, her archery skill surpassed that of all the gods on Mount Olympus. She's never without her silver bow and arrows. She sided with the Trojans during the war, and it was said that when a hare and its young were slain by the Greeks, Artemis unleashed fierce northern winds that prevented them from setting sail for Troy. Only when the Greeks had sacrificed King Agamemnon's eldest daughter to Artemis did the winds relent. Today, the legacy of Artemis can be seen in women who have defied convention and taken a more individual and liberated route in life. A phantom in the moonlight, she is said to still inhabit the forest. Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and fertility, was thought to have first taught mortals how to work the land and reap its harvest. Endowed with the power to bring feast and famine to the world, she is said to have the ability to control the seasons and transform the face of nature. Today, peaceful farmland flourishes on the very soil where it is believed the Trojan War was fought. Proof, perhaps, of the healing power of Demeter to bring forth new life even at this legendary site of epic violence.
From his throne on Mount Olympus, mighty Zeus ruled over god and man alike, maintaining order and justice in the universe. His thunderbolt of vengeance, the most feared weapon on earth and in the heavens. As combat raged at Troy, other gods picked favorites among the warriors, but Zeus refused to take sides, using his golden scales instead to balance the destinies of Troy's heroes. Yet it was he who bestowed upon Paris the fateful task of judging which goddess was the fairest, and as fate would have it, was also the father of Helen. This god of gods was no paragon of virtue. The most disloyal of husbands, his pursuit of goddesses and mortal women alike left a trail of deception, heartbreak, and violence across the ancient world. From the global celebration of the Olympic Games to the awe-inducing temples and monuments erected in his honor, Zeus's legend remains as strong as the god himself.
Athena, goddess of crafts, the domestic arts, and war. Athena, goddess of war, boasts a combination of divine intellect and extraordinary strength. Her legend claims that she emerged fully grown and clad in armor from the head of Zeus, and of all his children, he chose her to be the bearer of his shield and thunderbolt. A fierce enemy of Troy, she fought alongside the Greek warriors, and was said to have grieved over the death of Achilles. But when Troy fell and the Greeks defiled her temple there, Athena sought revenge. She had Poseidon unleash a storm that wreaked havoc on the returning Greek ships. Courageous in war, she also understood the supreme value of peace and was known as the protector of the home and domestic arts. Unlike her fellow goddesses who preferred to call nature home, Athena was devoted to cities. Her favorite was Athens, which bears her name, and where her temple, the Parthenon, still stands as one of the greatest wonders of the world. Both sister and wife of Zeus, Hera was queen of heaven and a jealous rival of the other goddesses on Mount Olympus. As beautiful as she was shrewd, Hera was thought to be a vigilant guardian of married women, as she knew all too well the bitter sting of infidelity. And though she was demure, she was often vindictive towards those who thwarted her will. Because Paris judged the goddess Aphrodite to be lovelier than she was, she became a fierce enemy of the Trojans, relentlessly using her powers to aid the Greek warriors until Troy lay in ruins. Indeed, Hera's legend gives meaning to the phrase, "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned."